Okay, welcome to one of my absolute favorite topics in the whole course. And I know I say that a lot, but here we go. Right triangle trigonometry, section 5.3. So, first off, we need to start by talking about a right triangle because we're going to need to name the parts of it. So you'll notice I have my angle that I want down here in this lower left-hand corner. It is a right triangle, which is super important. So the long side of a right triangle is always called the hypotenuse. And that's probably a word you picked up along the way somewhere, hopefully. But the real fun is going to come from trying to learn these two things, opposite and adjacent. Opposite is always across the triangle from the angle we want. Okay? Adjacent means next to. Adjacent is right next to next to the angle we want. So they're going to change places depending on where this angle is. So for instance, if that angle were up here instead, this would be the opposite, and that would be the adjacent. Opposite is always across the triangle, adjacent is always right next to it. Hopefully we can get that figured out pretty quick, because if we can, then we get to go to SOHCAHTOA. And I think SOHCAHTOA is fantastic. And all SOHCAHTOA is it's a mnemonic device to try and remember sine, cosine, and tangent. So the SO stands for sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. The cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And TOA, tangent, is opposite over adjacent. And so that gets us the three big trig functions right away. And if you recall back in section 2 when we did the unit circle, we said, hey, we've got these ordered pairs, but we could make right triangles out of them, which would have all had a hypotenuse of 1. And I promise if you go back and try and do your unit circle trig and instead draw a bunch of right triangles, it all works the same way. Isn't that fantastic? There is one tiny little detail that we have to have in there, though. Ready for it? You have to be able to have a negative side on the triangle. Anyway, we'll come back to that in section 3. So, and then we have our reciprocal functions. So as long as you remember that sine and cosecant are reciprocals, which is in your book, so you should be able to, you just take whatever sine is and you flip it over. Same with secant, you flip over cosine. Cotangent, you flip over what you have for tangent. And all we're going to do is we're going to put numbers in the right places. That's literally it. So I'm going to do an example, and I really only need like one because these are all basically the same problem. Although we get some really fun story problems, and I can't wait to do some of those homework problems with you guys.